I'd smash Ariana right there on stage.
Huh?
Right in front of Hillary.
She get a taste, let you get a taste.
Ariana Grande, you can get a taste of Bill.
Supreme victory!
So a couple of weeks ago, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, passed away at the age of 76. And it was a tragic loss, right? A lot of people mourn. She meant a lot to a lot of people, even people that don't even know who she is. Like maybe if you're really young or not really interested in that style of music, if you're not really interested in like that type of soul, I'm sure you've heard some of her music just passing by. You know, she had a huge influence on a lot of things. And so recently, her funeral was held, and obviously there's going to be a lot of people there, a lot of famous people, as it always happens when an icon passes away. But I'm bringing this up, and obviously some of you have probably stumbled upon some of the weird and wacky stuff that has happened, but I want to talk about it. I want to talk about how most people there, the vast majority of people there, were pressing F to pay their respects. But there was a couple of people that were focusing on their libido than the tragic passing of a legend. So the first bit of fuckery has to do with Ariana Grande. She was there and she was dressed in a dress that maybe is not the best thing to wear at a funeral. Now, I'm no prude. I don't really care about the dress itself. It's just that, you know, there's a time and place for everything, right? You know, the only time that I actually dress up nice is when I go to a funeral or a wedding, and everything else, like, honestly, I look like trash. Like, all of my shirts are faded and all of my bottoms have holes in them. And now we enter Bill Clinton. Good old Bill Clinton. You know, of course, whenever there's some girl that's just looking good, you know, Bill Clinton is not that far away. He's just being good old Bill. Just stereotypical, horny, perverse Bill. Now, Ariana Grande was doing her thing. She was singing, and then here's Bill Clinton. So a lot of people were like, ew, absolutely disgusting. And I'm like, all right. So yes and no. I mean, clearly it's inappropriate. Bill, you're at a funeral. You shouldn't be eyeing Ariana Grande, looking her up and down like, that's some good shit right there. You know, like you shouldn't be doing that while you're trying to honor the memory of Aretha Franklin. But at the same time, it's Bill Clinton.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did have sexual relations with that woman. Thank you.
How many of you are surprised? This isn't the first time he's been caught doing stuff like this, and he's had some way worse charges. Yeah, some really, really dark things, and things that people have said that even, you know, the victims were like, hey, this guy sexually assaulted me, and then Hillary Clinton's like, hey, let's sweep this under the rug, and meanwhile still trying to be with her. Now, enough of that zombie, but we're still gonna talk about Ariana Grande because she had a very uncomfortable and really fucked up moment at the funeral because one of the reverends decided he would cop a feel at the funeral.
When I saw Ariana Grande on the program, I thought that was a new something at Taco Bell. Girl, let me give you all your respect. Did y'all enjoy this icon? She's an icon herself.
I just at a funeral.
Now, there's a lot of people that are saying, wait up, hold on a second, you guys are overreacting because, you know, he's really tall, she's kind of short, and that's just where his hand rests comfortably when he's just trying to hug her. Bullshit. Look at how he's copping a feel. Look at the indentation of his fingers. He can feel the side boob. He knows it's there. He knows the fucking bra's there. And look at Ariana Grande. She clearly is uncomfortable. Everybody knows what's going on, and it's really awkward, and people that are saying, well, I don't know this or that. Well, dude, this guy's not retarded. He could easily move his hand up or down. Most likely should be down, maybe in the middle where the waist is, you know, that little hourglass little slit. That's where you put your hand if you're trying to do comfort. Even that's a little bit weird, right? At a funeral, maybe that's not the best thing to do because that's something that you do to a significant other, and maybe you don't even do that at a funeral either because it's not really a, like, it's not, what the fuck, man? Now, Bishop Charles H. Ellis III apologized and gave a little bit of an explanation. It would never be my intention to touch any woman's breast, he told the Associated Press. Maybe I crossed the border. Maybe I was too friendly or familiar, he added. But again, I apologize. Yeah, I don't believe that for a second, man. Not even for a millisecond. You know, there's something that kind of comes to my mind thinking about all of this. One time I ran into this girl that I hadn't seen in a long time. We grew up in high school. Ran into her at a swap meet or a flea market for East Coast people. And, you know, we're chopping it up. And then she kind of like was really close to me. And she has really nice rack. And it was kind of like just pressed up on me. Like she was so close that her titty was like kind of on my arm. You know, I have sensation, like I can feel, and she obviously can feel her titty on my arm, and it was one of those things that we both know that like, oh, this is reading into something, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? This is good shit. So I'm just saying that this guy knew, she knew, and he's completely bullshitting with that half-ass crap apology. And you know what I think? I honestly think, like, you know, these people, they're all rich and stuff, you know, the religious industry, it's just full of money and people just shoveling money at these guys. And he probably has a rich friend, you know, probably one of the other pastors or deacons or bishops or whatever, and he was like, hey, I dare you to cop a feel of her while you're up there. And he's like, you're on. They probably bet like $100,000, or they bet like a fucking church, one of the mini that they owned, or one of the Lamborghinis that they owned, or some shit. Probably something silly like that. Now the reason why this is all messed up, because her funeral, the mourning of Aretha Franklin herself, was overshadowed by all of this nonsense. It's pretty fucked up, and I'm guilty of perpetuating that, right? Because I'm talking about it. I'm not necessarily talking about her and her accomplishments and stuff like that. Well, I mean, that's not my shtick anyways. But I'm just saying that, you know, I didn't really see very many highlights. And when you type in her name, there are some articles that do really depict how wonderful the service was as a whole. But then there's all the other tabloids and all the other stuff creeping up, and all the stuff that I had to sift through, because it's just a bunch of trash, man. It's just a bunch of trash, and I wanted to share some trash with you, because if I have to see it, I want you to suffer with me. But hey, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you sticking by. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you're cool with this. You know, you can, if you want to support this channel, you can hit up my links in the description that has my merch and has my Patreon link. And speaking of Patreon, I want to give a shout out to my mega sexy patrons. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you for keeping this afloat and allowing me to do all the wacky shit that I'm doing. And I have some other stuff cooking up, so stay tuned, guys. Thanks again, and rest in peace, Aretha Franklin.
It would never be my intention to touch any woman's breast. Maybe I crossed the border. Maybe I was too friendly or familiar. But then again, I apologize.